All right, we're going to go over the basics of finding and sharing documents and folders. As the year goes on, your drive is going to get more and more filled with stuff, and it's going to be harder and harder to find things if you don't know how to use the search bar. Like, for example, let's say I can't find my math notes. I've looked everywhere, I've tried to find them, I don't know where they are. One of the first things that I would suggest you do is go to the Recent button and see if you can find them there. Normally, what you're going to see is if you can kind of guess about the last time you opened them, you should be able to see them in Recent. That's really helpful. Another thing you can do is if you're looking for a document that a friend shared with you, if you go to Shared with Me, and then you go up here and you search the name of the person that you know shared it with you in the bar, and you click it, all of the stuff that that person shared with you is going to pop up as well. That can be really helpful also if you know it's like a document that your teacher sent you or one that your friend sent you. If you type your friend or your teacher's name up here, all of the stuff they sent you pops up in this bar. So those are two quick search tips in terms of finding things that you may have lost. Another thing you can do is just search up here and try to find it by name. So for example, if I'm looking for my math notes and I've done my titles correctly, and we talked about how important titles are, if I just start typing words that I know are in the title of the doc, ho ho, it appears, and if I click on it, it's going to open the document and bring me right to it. So those are three quick search tips. If you can't find things, those are good ways of finding them. Now let's say once I found these notes, these very elaborate and detailed notes, as you can see, and I want to send them to my friend who maybe missed class or is working on a project with me. The way that you're going to do that is the share button, which is up here. Now right now, if I just mouse over the blue share button, it says it's private only to me. Anytime you see that, that means nobody else in the school can see it except you. And that's important to know because you may want some things that you just don't want to share, or you may have something that you want to share and you're not sure what the status of the document is. That will tell you. So let's say I do want to share this with a friend. So I'm going to go ahead and click the blue share button, and this little dialog box pops up. Now the easiest way to share something with someone is just to type their Hillmurray email address in the bar, select them, and then hit send once you've decided what kind of access you want to give them. Now this is a very important part, so you're going to want to pay close attention, because if you give the wrong access to a person, they may not be able to help edit the document for you, or in some cases even see it. So I'm going to go over the three options really briefly. There are three basic options: edit, comment, and view. Edit means they can do everything to the document that you can. The only thing they can't do is delete it. All right, until you're the owner of a document, you can't delete it. If I share this document with my friend, he can only delete the copy that appears in his drive. So it's kind of like if I'm Xeroxing it and I give him a copy of it, he can't delete the original because I still own it, if that makes sense. Down here is the can comment button. Now what that means is that they can't edit the document, they can't delete words, they can't add their own, but what they can do is comment in line, and that's something that's going to be covered in the Google Docs video, so make sure to check that out more. And then finally, can view. Can view basically means all they can do is look at it. That's it. Very, very simple little sharing buttons there. If you don't want to email the person directly, another thing you can do is get a shareable link. If you click on this button, this link pops up and you can copy paste this into an email, and then the person will be able to find the document that way. Remember that even if somebody doesn't have a Google Gmail account, they can still edit a Google Doc. That's important to know because some people, like perhaps if you want to send your parents something to proofread, they don't need a Gmail account to edit your Google Docs. They just need this address. So that's a great way of doing that for them. One other thing that's helpful is if you ever want to go into the advanced, if you're feeling daring and you want to go into the advanced section down here, there are a few more things that are kind of helpful to know about. One of them is to change who has access to it. You can also do that here. It can be public for anybody on the web, on for anybody who has a link. This is if you want to send it to a parent who doesn't have a Gmail account. This is what you want to set it to if you want them to edit. It can be anyone in Hillmurray, so that blocks everybody outside of school. Anyone at Hillmurray with the link, which means that the only way you can get it is by sending the link to somebody at Hillmurray, or just off, which makes it private. Okay, so those are 5 different options here. One other thing that's kind of helpful is down here there's a little checkbox that says disable options to download, print, and copy for commenters and viewers. If you click that, that means that even if the people have the link to your document, they can't make a copy for themselves, because that's one thing that's really important to know is if I share my document with anybody, even if it's view only, they can still make a copy for themselves and then edit their own copy. And that's important to know because you may have work that you've worked really hard on that you don't want somebody else taking credit for or then copy pasting and then putting in their own doc. This prevents them from doing that, which is pretty cool and a nice little feature to have. So just make sure that that's something that you keep in mind. And then when you're done adjusting the sharing settings, you go ahead and hit done, and then that document will be shared. And if I go over here, you'll notice that the little dialog box has appeared and changed, so it's no longer private. It's now people at Hill Murray with the link. That's basically how sharing a document works. Sharing a folder works the exact same way. The only difference is, and this is really important, if you share a folder, everything in the folder is also shared with that person. That can be very helpful if you want to share like 6 things with somebody and you really don't want to go through each one. It's really easy to dump them all in a folder and then share the folder. And the way you would do that is you would highlight the folder you want to share by clicking on it, going up to the little share icon, the little guy with a plus sign, and then the share button, the share dialog box that you're used to pops up as well. Okay? So that's just a little bit about sharing in Google Drive that hopefully will help you out.